Hey y'all, how y'all doing out there? Yeah, this is Shahid Isafine. I'm back with another video. So this month, y'all, is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I see that. I was trying to get a video up on Domestic Violence Awareness Month, the beginning of the month. Like I wanted to do it from the beginning of the month, but things happen. And like I said, I had to get another phone because my camera was acting up, and whew, it's just been downhill from there. But I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. So back to Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Welcome. And Domestic Violence Awareness Month, DVAM, was launched nationwide in October 1987, and it was a way to connect and unite individuals and organizations working on domestic violence issues while raising awareness for those issues. So over the past 30 plus years, much progress has been made to support domestic violence victims and survivors, to hold abusers accountable, and to create and update legislation to further their goals. And y'all, if my words are not coming out right, and my words are messing up, whatever, it's probably because I've had 3 mini strokes and I don't have any teeth at the top. So with a combination of the two, that's why I talk the way I do. Okay, so I apologize. And also, if anyone would like to donate to the organization, you can just contact the domestic abuse organization in your area. Because a lot of times when women flee the homes and they may go into women and children's shelter, and then once they come out and they find housing, a lot of times they don't have anything. They don't have any furniture. A lot of times they don't have enough clothes for themselves and their children. So you can always donate to the domestic abuse shelters. And they take donations of money. I imagine clothing also. And I know when I worked for the organization, they also took furniture. Because a lot of times, like I said, the women are flee the homes and they don't have anything once they find a new home. So, anything, would be of help, or household items, whatever, would be a good help, a big help to anyone fleeing an abusive situation with their children. So today I'm going to talk about domestic violence and male victims. So, because you know that men can also be victims as well as being the abuser. So, just a minute, everyone. Here it comes. So, domestic abuse against men can take the form of physical violence, emotional, verbal, or sexual abuse. So whatever your circumstances, though, you can find help and break free from an abusive situation. So even though you're a man and you're in an abusive situation from your significant other, there is also help out there for you. So it's important to know that you're not alone, and that abuse of men happens far more often than you might expect. In both heterosexual and same-sex relationships, it happens to men from all cultures and all walks of life. regardless of age or occupation. Figures suggest that as many as 1 in 3 victims of domestic violence are male. But however, men are often reluctant to report abuse because they feel embarrassed, they fear they won't be believed, or are scared that their partner will take revenge. An abusive partner may hit, kick, bite, punch, spit, throw things, or destroy your possessions. To make up for any difference in strength, they may attack you while you're asleep or otherwise catch you by surprise. They may also use a weapon such as a gun or knife or strike you with an object, abuse or threaten your children, or harm your pets. I know back in the day, I used to hear stories of sometimes women would throw, lye on their partners, or hot grease. So, this domestic violence goes way back, way back, way back. They may also threaten your children or even harm your pets. A lot of times they get mad, and then the pet be in the way, the dog is in the way, they kick them, poison the cat or poison the dog, hang them, all kind of crazy things. It happens each and every day. So, of course, domestic abuse is not limited to violence. Emotional and verbal abuse can be just as damaging. As a male, your spouse or partner may verbally abuse you, belittle you, or humiliate you in front of friends or colleagues or family, or even on social media. And that happens an awful lot. Be possessive, act jealous, or harass you with accusations of being unfaithful. Take away your car keys or medications. Try to control where you go and who you see. Try to control how you spend money or deliberately default on joint financial obligations. Make false allegations about you to your friends, employer, or the police, or find other ways to manipulate and isolate you. Threaten to leave you or prevent you from seeing your kids if you report the abuse. And that's a good one. Threatening to see the kids. A lot of times a woman will threaten a man because he won't do, especially if they're separated or whatever, don't live together. And she'll threaten him that he can't see the kids if he doesn't continuously give her a certain amount of money, or if he just doesn't do certain things that she wants him to do. So she'll tell him that he can't see the kids. And a lot of times, men, well, I believe maybe they're doing it more and more now, but it used to be times when a man won't go as far as a woman to see the kids. If the woman say you can't see the kids, well, you can't see the kids. But I imagine more and more men now are going out legally, because legally a man has the right to see his children, whether he's paying child support or not. He has the right to see his children. And if he's not paying child support, then it's up to the mother or whoever has the child or children, to go file child support. But you can't just hold the children back from seeing their father because you can't have your way, or because he's not doing what you want him to do. So, and that's mental abuse. So as an abused man, you may face a shortage of resources, a lack of understanding from friends and family, and legal obstacles, especially if trying to gain custody of your children from an abusive mother. Whatever your circumstances, though, you can overcome these challenges and escape the violence and abuse. If you're gay, bisexual, or transgender, you may be in an abusive relationship. If your partner threatens to inform friends, family, colleagues, or community members about your sexual orientation or gender identity. Insist that the police won't help someone who's gay, bisexual, or transgender. Ridicules your attempts to escape the relationship by blaming you as someone who deep down believes that gay, bisexual, or transgender relationships are born or are natural. Accuses you of not really being gay, bisexual, or transgender. Justifies their abuse with the excuse that all men are naturally aggressive and violent. And that is not true. So why men don't leave abusive relationships? Regardless of gender, ending a relationship, even an abusive one, is rarely easy. It becomes even harder if you've been isolated from friends and family, if you've been threatened, manipulated, and controlled, or physically and emotionally beaten down. You may feel that you have to stay in the relationship because you feel ashamed. Many men feel great shame that they've been abused, been unable to stand up for themselves, or somehow failed in their role as a male, husband, or even a father. Your religious beliefs dictate that you stay, or your self-worth is so low that you feel this abusive relationship is all you deserve. There's a lack of resources. Many men worry they'll have difficulty being believed by the authorities, or that their abuse will be minimized because they're male, or find there are few resources to specifically help abused men. Now, I know when I worked for the domestic abuse organization, when I was an advocate, I only remember having one male client out of the whole 10 years that I worked for the organization. One male. Go figure. And I remember, as a child, I remember seeing, different women abusing their men, verbally and or physically. But, I didn't think anything of it, I just thought, that's what happened. We used to laugh and see that's what happens. That's what happens because you think a man is less than a man, or a man is scared because he's letting his partner, his significant other, abuse him. That's not always the case, though. It's just that some people don't believe, and some people just don't want to be fighting, period. People don't know how, and I'm getting off of what we're talking about, but it's all in the same. But people don't know how to sit down and have a discussion, talk out their disputes. Maybe they can come to some type of conclusion. The hitting and fighting and kicking and shooting and hollering and screaming, it doesn't solve anything. It just makes the problem worse. Then you put a Band-Aid on it. The honeymoon stage. You put a band on it. The next day you start all over again. It's the same thing, but you've added more because you never settled the first argument. Because you were too busy, one wanting to talk over the other, one getting louder than the other. And sometimes it spills out into physical abuse. And now, more and more, it spills out into death. But back to what I was saying. You're in a same-sex relationship, but haven't come out to family or friends and are afraid that your partner will rat on you. You're in denial, just as with female domestic violence victims, denying that there is a problem in your relationship will only prolong the abuse. You may still love your partner when they're not being abusive and believe they will change or that you can help them. But change can only happen once your abuser takes full responsibility for their behavior and seeks professional treatment. You want to protect your children. You worry that if you leave, your spouse will harm your children or prevent you from having access to them. Obtaining custody of children is always challenging for fathers. But even if you are confident that you can do so, you may still feel overwhelmed at the prospect of raising them alone. Protecting yourself as an abused male. Domestic violence and abuse can have a serious physical and psychological impact. The first step to protecting yourself and stopping the abuse is to reach out, talk to a friend or a family member, or someone else that you trust, or call a domestic violence helpline. And that is open 24 hours a day. There's always a volunteer online. Admitting the problem and seeking help doesn't mean you have failed as a man or as a husband. You are not to blame, and you are not weak. As well as offering a sense of relief and providing some much-needed support, sharing details of your abuse can also be the first step in building a case against your abuser. When dealing with your abusive partner, leave if possible. Be aware of any signs that may trigger a violent response from your partner and be ready to leave quickly. If you need to stay to protect your children, call an emergency services. The police have an obligation to protect you, just as they do for a female victim. And if they don't offer any verbal assistance to, where you can seek help, you ask them. You take it upon yourself and ask them. Never retaliate. An abusive partner may try to provoke you into retaliating or using force to escape the situation. If you do retaliate, you're putting yourself at risk of being arrested or removed from your home. Get evidence of the abuse. Report all incidents to the police and get a copy of each police report. Keep a journal of all abuse with a clear record of dates, times, and any witnesses, including a photographic record of your injuries, and make sure your doctor or hospital also documents your injuries. And that's another thing, is everybody has camera phones now. So it's so easy. Just go in the bathroom or in a quiet place and take photos of any injuries. You have injuries on your neck. You may have a black eye. You may have scrapes and bruises, cuts, whatever they are. Take pictures and keep them in a safe place, because you can use these pictures in court. You need these pictures when you go to file a protection order. When I was in the organization, they were called 418 protection orders. And as I was going over some other information now, they're called something else, but I'll find it, but it's all the same thing. A protection from abuse order. But you need to keep documented information of all the abuse, all the negative things that are said to you or done to you or the children, dates, even times. If you can remember the times, jot it all down. What you were feeling, how you were feeling when it was happening, what the police called at the time. Just keep everything documented. This is going to all be useful one day. And hopefully after the first incident of especially physical abuse, that should be a big red flag. So, and even if you're not ready to get out of the relationship the first time, start making an escape plan. And I have that in another video. That's in one of my other videos. And I'll probably talk about it again as time goes on. Because since this is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I'm not only going to just go over this on Fridays, but I think I'm going to do it as many days as I can. Because it's so much. So I'll do as much as I can on domestic violence for this month of October. So keep a mobile phone, evidence of the abuse, and other important documents close at hand. If you have to leave instantly in order to escape the abuse, you'll need to take with you evidence of the abuse and important documents, such as a passport and driver's license. And it may be safer to keep these items outside of the home. I know some people have, what is it called? Your safe boxes in the banks, safety deposit boxes. You can keep your important papers in the safety deposit boxes, as well as your safety plan. You can keep it at a parent's home or another family member's home that you can truly trust. Obtain advice from a domestic violence program or legal aid resource about getting a restraining order or order of protection against your partner, and if necessary, seeking temporary custody of your children. And sometimes, they try to get back at you by snatching up the children, and God knows when you may see them, if ever again. And also, and especially with this pandemic, it's more and more parents killing their children. This is happening so much more. It's just sickening. It's just economic. I mean, why are you taking the children out? What have the children done? They haven't had a chance to experience life. Why keep having them? Why? Moving on from an abusive relationship. Support from family and friends, as well as counseling, therapy, and support groups for domestic abuse survivors can help you move on from an abusive relationship. You may struggle with upsetting emotions or feel numb, disconnected, and unable to trust other people. So after the trauma of an abusive relationship, it can take a while to get over the pain and bad memories, but you still can heal and you can move on. Even if you're eager to jump into a new relationship and finally get the intimacy and support you've been missing, it's wise to take things slowly. Make sure you're aware of any red flag behaviors in a potential new partner and what it takes to build healthy new relationships. And yes, don't be so quick to jump out of one relationship into another. Because a lot of times, in some cases it works, but in a lot of times it doesn't. You haven't had time to breathe after the last relationship. You haven't had time to really find yourself, to even think about if you really want to get in another relationship. You have to get you together first. You don't want to take your baggage over into another relationship. It's not going to work. It's okay to have a friend for a while. Get to know a person. Do people go out on dates anymore? Do you go out to eat anymore? To the amusement park or to the museum? Do you go out on dates? I mean, what is it? Why do you have to rush into relationships so quick? And we've all done it. I've done it. A lot of us has done it. But as you get older, you think, it's best sometimes just to be friends for a while. Get to know each other. Get to know each other's families. Get to know. Watch the signs. Watch the signs. Watch how when you talk to the person, don't always be looking down and your head down in your phone or looking at a movie or wherever. You look at that person in their eyes. And that's when you got on a job interview. You look your interviewer in the eyes. You shake hands. Well, I guess you don't shake hands anymore, but if we ever get back to that, we shake hands with a strong grip, And you look people in the eyes. That way you can tell more about them. But I guess that'll be another story, too. But I just want to say I really miss y'all. I'm glad I'm back with my, what you call it? I'm just going to call it I should have kept it bloopers. My videos bloopers, like I called them in the beginning. Y'all. But I still love what I'm doing. I'm going to keep on doing it. I'm going to keep on doing it, and I'm going to keep on doing it until I get it right. At this point, I'm not thinking about trying to get paid. I'm not thinking about getting paid until I get this thing on track. Right now, I'm just having fun, and I just love entertaining the new people, my new subscribers and my viewers, and the ones that's been hanging with me since last year, my 2020 survivors. I love each and every one of you, and I love what I'm doing. And I know I ain't doing it all together right, but it'll get there one day. I have faith. So, before I go, I want to give a shout out, because during the times I couldn't do my videos, I guess it was like for 2 weeks, I did do a lot of looking at different YouTubers. I do that anyway, but I guess I looked at even more. And I ran across this one in particular, Nana 107, Nonnie. And she's a 107-year-old viral grandma. And one of her videos I was attracted to was called Nana 107. 107-year-old viral grandma has some advice. That's the video I was watching. She's been on a Today Show. She cooks every Sunday for her family. She cooks Sunday dinner every Sunday for her family. And she says that her motto is to never hold a grudge. She also lives alone. She's a cute little short lady. She cooks breakfast and She straightens up, and she doesn't like to get She doesn't like to get annoyed. She lives alone, and she cooks breakfast, and she straightens up, and she doesn't like to get, and I repeated that twice, y'all, but that's okay. Her family takes her where she wants to go, and but she does her own shopping. But family members, takes her shopping and wherever she needs to go. And then she pushes the shopping cart until she can't push it anymore, and then they take over. She also goes to the casino from time to time. She said in her spare time, she loves to go to the casino. She also tells her story of when she's been abused. And one thing that attracted me to her is that some of her stories sound similar to mine from the past. So, okay, so y'all go over there and check her out. 99107, NONNIC. And then there's another couple, together 30 plus years, give us love advice. So, what is it here? I think that's the name of the other video. Together 30 plus years, give us love advice, okay? And I'm going to put it down in the description box. But yes, those were two YouTubers that had some very interesting information. Together 30 plus years, give us love advice. Of course, they speak on the 30 plus years in their married life and, what kept them together so long. And Nana 107, I really do love her. So go over there and check her out, y'all. And I'll probably have a few more shout-outs in the next video. So until I come back with another video, y'all, I just want to tell y'all, as usual, to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll be notified of another video. I love you, and I hope you love me too.